Have you heard of Chrono Core? Chrono Core is a brand new mecha-based TCG where you go head-to-head against your opponent, destroy their shields, and eventually their pilot. Chrono Core Studios was nice enough to send us this starter kit so that we could check out the new cards, learn how to play, and give you guys our first impression.
Chrono Core got its start on Kickstarter on March 18th, 2025, with an original goal of $25,000. Within 24 hours, it was already funded at 200%. Over the course of the pledge period, the community managed to hit 15 stretch goals. By the end of the Kickstarter, it had 388 backers with over $68,000 pledged.
In this game, you're a pilot kitting out your own mech with weapons and equipment. The objective? Kill. Battle your opponent's mech using your weapons and reduce their shields. And then, reduce the pilot's life total. The bulk of the game takes place in each player's main phase, which will allow you to take a number of actions, including upgrading your mech, configuring your gear, and attacking. Players will attack with each of their weapons individually, which will open up a series of steps that will allow both players to respond by defending or boosting their attacks. Managing your resources, choosing the right moment to upgrade, and attacking when the time is right will determine whether you'll return to base a hero or get sent to the great scrapyard in the sky.
Now, let's talk about something super important in card games: the art. First off, the game has a very interesting style that hits this mix almost between a Gundam anime and American comic books, and it brings that style front and center with some of its higher rarities. It features full art pilots and cores with dynamic poses, artist signatures, and serialized cards, which means there are plenty of hits worth chasing. During our box opening, we saw foil treatments on all kinds of cards, from commons all the way up to our secret rare pool, Scythe of Retribution. Meaning that if you're dedicated enough, there is a good chance you could bling out your entire deck with foils. Speaking on the treatments, it did seem like there were multiple different kinds of foiling and border styles, such as texture foils or art that overlapped the borders. While these all looked cool, without a distinctive identity behind the different treatments, there were times where it was hard to tell the difference between them unless they were side by side, and lessening that pop-off feeling when you pull a big hit. Also, like anything subjective, certain arts didn't quite hit the mark for some of us. But overall, we liked the art in this game, and we're excited to see how it evolves in the future. And we can't really review a card game without talking about the quality of the card stock. Compared to modern card games today, the overall print quality is pretty good. We didn't notice any printing errors like shim lines or perforated edges in the cards. The booster box and packs themselves were easy to pop open, felt good in our hands. The card stock, though, could use a little improvement. While the cards don't feel flimsy, they don't quite feel sturdy either. We noticed the cards tended to stick a bit while doing our pack openings. The caveat here is that these card stock problems are easily fixed once you sleeve them. But since TCGs are such a tactile hobby, we do feel like it's important for cards to feel excellent in your hands, even before they're sleeved. These cards weren't bad quality by any means. There's just some room for improvement in future print runs.
The game goes like this. You'll start with your pilot and your core. Alongside that, you'll also have your weapons and 3 pieces of equipment consisting of your visor, your gauntlets, and your greaves. As you draw cards from your deck and play your turns, you'll upgrade your weapons and equipment, configure and support your mech, and play abilities. In this game, you'll pay for the cards you play using your core charge, which is the primary resource. Your maximum core charge is determined by your equipment, and upgrading your mech increases your maximum core charge. The gameplay of Chrono Core really feels like a mech battle, with light, medium, and heavy frames giving players distinctly different playstyles. Rather than a traditional mana-based resource system, this game hinges on upgrading the different parts of your mech to increase your maximum core charge, meaning that as your mech gets stronger, you do too. This also affects the length of each match. Looking at the starting health values and damage numbers, it seemed like the games would take a while, but as we quickly kitted out our mechs, they became brutal combat machines that had us fighting for our lives. The longest of our starter deck games was somewhere around 20 minutes, which is fairly quick for a card game. We were pleasantly surprised by the speed of the game in these starter matches. It was fast, but didn't feel overly simple, and we think with upgraded competitive decks, there could be a lot of complexity and skill expression. To get new players to hit the ground running, some entry-level products like starter decks can sometimes feel a little too simple, leading to a lack of satisfying play paths. This game, however, hits a good balance between accessibility and depth. Some players might find the amount of keywords in this game overwhelming, and that's fair, but these very same keywords give the game its depth. Abilities like Firewall that allow you to interact with your opponent's mech systems directly offer a level of complexity that will keep veteran card players engaged. As another example, the minigame of when you break your opponent's shields to prevent them from gaining a large upgrade via the overclock mechanic likewise rewards strategy and careful planning. The biggest hurdle to learning the card game for us was the rules, or lack thereof. While the full rules are available on the Chrono Core website, including a very helpful quick start guide, the starter decks that we got did not have a QR code to the website or any kind of rule sheet explaining how to set up the game, play cards, pay for abilities, or even how to win. We did get a small rules card detailing the turn flow, attack subphase, and timing restriction for triggers, but without an easy way to read the general rules, it was difficult to put that information into action. This made playing our first game much harder than it should have been. Giving those resources to players right out of the gate with something like a QR code insert would go a long way to making sure the player onboarding goes smoothly and is rewarding instead of frustrating. Still, once we tracked down those resources, the game really opened up and we were wanting to play more, not just with the decks we had, but also with the idea of constructing our own decks from the cards we opened in our booster box.
So, should you buy Chrono Core? Well, that depends. Do you like mecha anime or just mecha in general? Do you like the idea of using an ever-evolving resource system to build your perfect mech and slip past your opponent's defenses? Do you just want to see big robots smash each other? The answer to any of these is yes, and especially if the answer to all of these is yes, then Chrono Core is definitely worth checking out. After playing our first few matches, the game had us wanting to explore all the different options that are available between the pilots and their cores that will only expand as the game continues to mature. The upgrade system, relying on cards in your hand, also makes each game feel like its own puzzle to find the correct upgrades at the right time to achieve victory. The fact that the games don't last too long means you can pick up and play just about anywhere. We think Chrono Core has the potential to grow, and it already has a passionate community behind it. This is a game that we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on.
We'd like to thank Chrono Core for giving us this starter kit and giving us the opportunity to bring our thoughts to you. If you want to check out the Chrono Core TCG for yourself, there'll be a link down in the description to their website. That way you can learn about the game and hop into the community. If you like this kind of content from us, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe because it really does help. What do you think of the Chrono Core TCG? Do you want to hop in the mech? Let us know down below. That's going to go ahead and do it for today's video. I want to thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.